Hey guys, welcome back to the Excel series. In this video, we will understand how offset function works. Offset function is used because it provides cumulative value as compared to match function. So it has its own benefits. However, it's quite complicated to understand. So I'll just try to break it easier for you. So suppose I have this given data set where I have the semester scores for first, second, third, and fourth semester. And I have midterm 1, midterm 2, and final exam scores of students. Now, if I want to reach to semester 254, that is final exam score, how will I go with the offset function? So, suppose this is my starting point, that is A10. So, what I'll do, I'll have to go to third row and I have to go to second column. So, I have to skip this one and this one, I have to go to second column. So, it would be third row and second column. Now, when I have to go to offset function, I'll just give the rows and the height and I'll write the offset and it should start from the starting point. So I'll just write offset and my starting point is A10, and then I'll just say go 3 rows down in 2 columns. So I have reached 254. This is how offset function works. It starts from a starting point and then it takes the filter which you are providing. Now, this is easier because you have a very small data set, but when you have a very big data set, at that point of time, when you use offset function, what you have to do is you need to use match with offset so that it identifies the row you are trying to approach and the column also. So let's see case 2. In case 2, I have my final exam score in midterm scores and I want to find out the cumulative value of this. So just if you have to do it manually, what you will do is you will sum this up and you will get a score. Now what if I want to do this with the offset function and I want to make sure that when I do this, I always able to change the scenarios. If I have to go to final exam complete score, what I have to do is I have to take from this starting point 3 rows down. Then it comes to column. So I'll say first column because I have to start from here. And when it comes to height, I'll say 1 because this cell has a height of 1. I'm not doing this. I'm just doing this cell. So now it comes to width. So when I have to give width, I'll just count this down. It's B, C, D, E. So it's 4. So now I can say, in order to do this, what I'll do is I'll write just equal to sum. And in sum, I'll put offset. And in offset now, I am going to give my starting point. And then I'm going to give my row, column, height, and width. I'll just press enter. I have got the score, which was here, with the simple sum formula. Now the best part is, if I want, instead of final exam, I want a score for midterm 2. What I just have to do is, I have to go 2 rows down. Starting column would be 1, height would be 1, and width will be, I'll get a midterm score. So if you want to quickly check this, you can just choose sum, and you can do this. Right? So that is how offset works. Now the best part is, instead of putting these row and height manually, I can actually use match function and find it in the larger data set also. So let's move to case 3 and see that. So to begin here, I want the final exam score of a student. And I want to make it more dynamic as compared to what we were doing in case 2. So if I have to go to row, how many rows I have to travel? I won't count that. Now what I'll do is I to understand whether row would be dynamic or whether it will be static. So whenever I'll change this particular, right now it is final exam. If I change it to midterm 1, it will be different, right? So that means my row will be dynamic and I have to use match function here. Now, if I talk about column, the column will be static since I want the cumulative score, whether it's midterm 1 or midterm 2. So I'll say column would be static. And what would be the height? So height will also be static because I want to, at a particular point of time, go with row. So it will be static. And what about the width? So width actually depends on the semester I am looking for. From which semester I am looking for the cumulative value. So width will be here again dynamic. So I will write sum and then I'll write offset. Now I will give the starting point of my table. So this is the starting point. Next, what is there is the row, which I have to use match for it. So I'll write match. And now I will just say it has to match this, whatever I am putting in my particulars. So whether it is final exam or midterm 1 or midterm 2, just find this in the table. Where does it lie? So now it is asking me for the data set. I'll just choose this and I'll press F4. Then I'll 0 and I'll close this. Now I'll say my column is 1, my height is 1. And next I have to give width. I'll say match. And now I will give it the data set which contains it. I'll just choose the data set and I'll press F4. Next I'll put 0 and I will close this. So I'll press enter. So now I have the score which is 40. In this case, because I am looking for semester 1 in the final exam score. Now, if I just move here and I'll choose this as 4, I will get the cumulative score of this. And instead of semester 4, if I go here and I just choose midterm 1, then I'll get the cumulative score of midterm 1. If you want to quickly see it, you can. We can go here and we can do this. Now, instead of this, I can also ask for the semester 3 score. So I can do this and it is giving me 38. So it has excluded this figure. All right. So that is how you combine your match function with your offset, and then you get the cumulative result, and you don't have to worry about the number of rows and the columns because you can select your data set very easy. It comes very handy when you can't use the match function because it does not provide cumulative value, or the VLOOKUP because it starts from the left. Then you can use offset. Okay. All right. I think that is all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.